Multiplayer gaming is where the magic happens. Whether you're teaming up with friends, facing off against rivals, or just trying to survive, there's nothing quite like the shared experiences that multiplayer games offer. But the thing is, multiplayer gaming spans a ton of genres, each with its own unique vibe. Playing Fortnite is going to be a vastly different experience from Street Fighter, which, although it's a fighting game, is nothing like playing UFC or WWE games. In today's video, we're exploring the many genres of multiplayer gaming. From the chaotic fun of party games to the high-stakes strategy of battle royales, we'll be breaking down the key genres of multiplayer gaming, the unique experiences that each genre provides, and how accessible they are for new players versus the veterans. Multiplayer gaming is incredibly diverse, with genres for every kind of player. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. Party games. Meant more for groups. Typically, the rules offer lots of change-ups for variety, and they're meant to be accessible for anyone and typically more laid back, although things can get competitive or chaotic. Think Mario Party, Mario Kart, or the Jackbox party games. Some of these games could be crossovers or blends of other genres like Super Smash Bros. Takes us to our next genre, by the way. Fighting games. Intense one-on-one or group brawls. Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Marvel v Capcom, Injustice, you get the idea. Most of these are the traditional side perspective fighting games that you can easily distinguish. Stage or platform fighters are now making a mark in the genre, with Smash Bros. Paving the way for games like Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl and Multiverses, among others. These games have emphasis on combos, precise button and directional input, and they're also often very competitive. Games like Smash Bros. Could also qualify for party games if they offer changeable rule sets targeted for new casual players, if they offer more than 2 players at a time, or they have variables like Smash Bros. Items that tend to leave the game up to sheer luck more often than just plain skill. A game like Gang Beast? Sure, you fight, but I would maybe lean more towards party, as there is skill involved, but it's meant more of a silly rage game with large groups of friends. WWE and UFC games? Again, you do fight in these games, but first and foremost, they're simulations of a sport that you can watch on TV, so I'd stick them under sports games. Beat 'em ups. Cooperative action against waves of enemies. You can play it single player or with a buddy or a couple of buddies. TMNT Turtles in Time, The Simpsons arcade game, the X-Men arcade game, Scott Pilgrim, and my favorite, Castle Crashers. This is another genre that's usually pretty easy to distinguish. There are some outliers, but these come to mind the quickest. You can spam attack buttons and just take the stress of life out on waves and waves of random enemies and keep pushing across the screen until you get to the boss. Battle royales. Survival of the fittest in massive arenas. One of the most popular multiplayer genres of today's gaming landscape, whether you'd like to admit it or not. And I'll be the first to say, I'm not a huge fan of these games, generally because I'm bad at them and they make me pretty angry, but they are popular, no doubt. These are basically anything where you're playing online with other people in an attempt to be the last person or the last team left in the game. Everyone knows Fortnite, but there's also Call of Duty Warzone, PUBG, if people still play that, Fall Guys, Tetris 99, and Mario 35 when it was alive. RIP Mario 35. Now there's also MMORPGs, which is expansive worlds filled with thousands of players, but in the effort of being fully transparent, I know this is a huge genre for multiplayer gaming. Some might even call it massive. But I'm absolutely 100% not qualified to discuss these games, as I have little to no experience with them. I don't even have really many friends that play them that could even tell me about them, and they just never really appealed to me. These games are games like RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Star Wars The Old Republic, Elder Scrolls Online, you know, those type of games. Apologies to the fans of this genre, I just rather not try to discuss it and get it really wrong and botch it and have people up my throats for not going in depth about Dungeons and Dragons Online or something. The best attempt I can make to summarize it is take an RPG, play it online with lots of people, and boom, it's a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Ta-da! Co-op survival games. Team up to survive challenging environments with a buddy either online or on the couch. My brain always jumps to those classic split-screen games like Halo, Call of Duty Zombies, Resident Evil 5 and 6, Halo, and yeah, that's about all the ones I played, mainly Halo. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and group in the first-person shooters with that, because I feel like the majority of co-op survival games were also first-person shooters, and they had some form of group multiplayer, whether it be on the couch or online. So now the group could include Rainbow Six, Overwatch, Destiny, I think, Heck, we might even throw in GTA Online because it can be first or third person shooters. And I mean, there's no shortage of guns. This category is probably going to be a little loose. Sports games. You would assume this is pretty easy to distinguish, and for the most part it is, but it gets a little tricky. Anything from Madden and NBA 2K to WWE and UFC games are sports games. Where it gets tricky, however, is sorting between the sports games and the hybrid party sports games. Let me explain. MLB The Show, sports game. Mario Baseball, party game. Wii Sports, party game. Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, party game. NBA Jam, I said sports at first, but it could be like a party arcade sports game personally. Whatever you want to call it. I know that was a lot, but I'll explain in the next section when we discuss the genres more in depth. Now it's time to break each genre down and look at what makes them special. Let's start with the party games, the life of the multiplayer party. These are easy to pick up, they're designed for maximum laughs, and they're perfect for groups of friends or family. These are titles that even grandma and grandpa can pick up. I mentioned a couple popular titles like Mario Party, the Mario Kart games, and the Jackpot games because they focus on accessibility, making them great for new gamers. Generally, these are designed to where skill can be helpful, but it's not necessary at all times. What sets them apart? The unpredictability. Again, it's less about skill and more about having fun, whether you're winning or losing. Just don't tell my wife that when she's playing, and you should be able to make it out alive. Next, we've got fighting games. These are all about skill and precision, where players go head to head in intense battles. These games get sweaty, mega sweaty. Like if you've ever been to a competitive event for a fighting game, you'll know what I'm talking about. While fighting games offer incredible depth for veterans, they can be intimidating for newcomers given they demand complete mastery of the characters and their movesets. While you can pick your favorite looking character, more often than not characters will fall somewhere on a tier list, where the higher tier characters will be more prevalent in tournaments and fighting scenes because of their combos, speed, or maybe range. This is one of my biggest gripes with the genre. While the normal games can be fun, it is probably one of the more off-putting genres to casuals because hardcore fans have such strong opinions and are unrelenting towards them. Not to mention, it feels like once a new character drops, everyone only plays as that character because people haven't figured out how to defend against them, and then they become OP and get banned where nobody can use them. I love Super Smash Bros, and Smash Melee is one of my favorite games of all time, but no, I don't want to 1v1 you in Final Destination as Fox, no items, 4-star only, dude. That being said, it's one of those genres that are sometimes a lot more fun to watch than to play, as playing can be stressful and a lot of mental work, but I do love watching a top tier Smash player work his craft in stressful moments. Shout out to my guy Hungrybox. If you love the combat of fighting games, but prefer working with your friends in slightly less stressful environments, then maybe beat 'em ups are for you. The appeal here? Simplicity and camaraderie. They're easy to jump into, with gameplay that rewards teamwork over individual skill. There can be combos to learn, but more often than not, this is the genre where button mashing will usually suffice for you new players. Some games like Castle Crashers or TMNT Shredder's Revenge offer the ability to upgrade your player over time, but it's not necessary. These games can either be the most extremely crazy and intense games on the list, or they would be surprisingly chill, and something fun to just hang out and chat to while Bebop and Rocksteady get the snot kicked out of them. Battle Royales have taken the gaming world by storm. Games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, and Call of Duty Warzone drop you into massive arenas where only one player or team can come out on top. These games thrive on high-stakes tension and unpredictable gameplay, making them exhilarating. While they're accessible to jump into, mastering the mechanics can take hundreds of hours, making them ideal for competitive gamers. Admittedly, I used to be a huge hater on Fortnite for years after it came out, but once they came out with Zero Build, I got into it. And now it's a game I've got a lot of core memories with my friends who have moved off across the country. I mean, it is accessible on most any platform, and then I don't have to worry about sweats building on me because I'm about to yeet them. Fall Guys, while frustrating at many times, is a really fun battle royale where you play these Wipeout-inspired courses as little jelly bean dudes. There's also Tetris 99, because why not? That's what kids want these days. Tetris! Now let's talk about the co-op and survival as well as first-person shooter genre, where you and your friends team up to tackle enemies or each other. These games stand out because they immerse players in shared experiences, fostering collaboration and strategy in a way that's different from other competitive genres. If you're playing zombies on hardcore and you're on round 30 with one of your teammates down, you should probably communicate and coordinate with your team, as opposed to trying to be Superman and running into a horde with nothing but your knife and a couple of handgun bullets. Games like these reward knowledge of the weapons, character classes, the map layouts, and a lot more. The reason I suck so bad at these is because I'd rather have fun running in, throwing grenades, and trying to melee dudes running around the corner. They're also known for some of the most notorious trash talk in gaming. It's one of the few places you'll find grown men in their 30s and 40s bragging to 12-year-olds about their encounters with their mothers and their affection for blatant and unfiltered racism. Finally, we've got sports games, which brings real-world sports into the gaming world. Most of the time. Popular franchises like NBA 2K, NHL, and Rocket League. Wait, Rocket League counts? Well, yeah, after checking online, the general consensus is that Rocket League is a sports game, so okay, I guess that's cool with me. I like Rocket League. These games serve first and foremost as simulations of the real-world sports they mimic. That's why Mario sports games are party games first and then sports games. Same with Wii Sports, yes, even though it has sports in the title. These are not accurate simulations of those sports. Games like NBA Jam are tough to put in either category, but I'd probably put them in a separate one like arcade sports games or something like that, as they still aren't truly realistic simulations of those sports, mainly games designed to lure casual fans into that sport. Alright, quick pause to talk about something that keeps me at my best, Dubby energy. If you're like me, these long multiplayer sessions can be draining, especially when you're trying to stay focused in a long, tense match. But that's where Dubby comes in. Dubby's my go-to for a clean energy boost. It tastes great, and it keeps me sharp without the jitters or the crash that I've gotten from a lot of other energy drinks. Whether I'm dropping off from the battle bus or grinding through waves of Call of Duty zombies, Dubby helps me stay locked in. If you want to try it for yourself, check out the link in the description and use the code NoggTV for a discount. Trust me, it'll change the way you game. Now for the last bit here, let's talk about which games are friendlier towards the newcomers, as my goal is for as many of you as possible to try some new multiplayer games. Party games are by far the most beginner friendly, with usually simplistic mechanics that just about anyone can learn. A lot of them, like Mario Party, lean more into pure luck than skill, and a lot of party games could fall under just trivia games or something that's meant for pure laughs. If you don't like party games, what are you doing? That's kind of a red flag. Battle Royales and beat 'em ups both strike a balance, offering fun for casuals and depth for hardcore players. It'll depend purely on the game here. I've played a lot of Battle Royales and been completely lost, but my first time playing Fortnite Zero build, I got a dub. And as far as beat 'em ups go, you don't really have to know everything about the game, but generally if you have at least one person experience with the game, then you'll be fine playing it if it's your first time. Games like Castle Crashers may help with some knowledge of it, but not required. And man, anybody can go play the Simpsons arcade game. The first-person shooters / survivals and the sports games are just enough above that to probably get its own separate tier. Similarly to the beat 'em ups, you can probably beat Halo or make it past a couple rounds of COD Zombies as a noob if you're playing with a seasoned veteran of the game, or just on some low difficulty settings. But good luck trying to get your girlfriend to help you beat legendary difficulty on Halo, unless she's got more game than you, man. Sports games typically do have easy difficulty settings, and they have the ability to change rules for new players and maybe turn penalties off, but it can still take lots of grinding for a new player to match the skills of someone who buys the game and plays it every single year. The other big thing that I was thinking of is that if you aren't a fan of these sports, why are you buying the game and playing it? Fighting games are easily the most challenging for newcomers, but they reward persistence with an incredibly rich experience. It's one of those things that you have to learn to be okay with getting your butt kicked 500 times in a row, so that on game 501 when you get a kill, or maybe even take him to the wire and catch him on an upset, you feel like you're getting somewhere. Like I said earlier, platform fighters are a little friendlier, but still share many of the same aspects. If you play custom smash or use items, that's perfectly fine and lots of fun. But if you're one of those out there that's comforted by the chaos of playing large stages where it's hard to even get to each other, that's some psychotic behavior right there. What are you doing? The good news about multiplayer games, no matter your skill level, there's a genre out there for you. So whether you're into the competitive thrill of a fighting game or the chaotic fun of a party game, multiplayer gaming has something for everyone. Each genre provides unique experiences, so don't be afraid to try something new. What's your favorite multiplayer genre? What's your favorite multiplayer game? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more gaming content. Today we talked about a lot of multiplayer games, but if you're a fan of single player games with awesome stories or gameplays, yet you find yourself with a backlog a mile long and unable to finish games faster than you add them, then check out this video on the screen, which became my most popular video on my channel, and I talked about the most common reasons why you might struggle to finish games, what the psychology says about that, and some effective strategies on finishing games and having a good time doing so. Thanks y'all.